Nice one, mate. So we've got Ryan Moore on the Lifestyle Legacy podcast. Thanks for having you on, mate.
No problem, mate.
So, Wealth Coach
Yep.
is your business name, right?
Correct.
30 million under assets.
Yep.
Over, I think we were discussing before.
Slightly over now, yeah.
So, run us through your primary role, really, when you're working with clients. What is your exact job? Because I know, like, financial advisor gets labelled around everywhere. How would you describe yourself?
Yeah, so firstly, look, I am a qualified financial advisor. Been a financial advisor now for over 12 years. Worked in financial services and wealth management for close to 20 years. But a financial advisor's role is to help clients create wealth, generate wealth for the future. Multiple different strategies, whether it be to generate passive income or growth on assets, look at wealth preservation and protection. And obviously I have a wide range of clientele. I have some clientele that are in retirement age and they're investing for passive income today. And then I have clients that are in younger generation and we're guiding them through from the starting process all the way through to retirement age. And it's just all really, I really hone in on wealth accumulation.
Yeah. And from wealth accumulation, how are we defining wealth?
So this can be perceived in many different ways, right? So,
give me your true, honest opinion on what you think it is.
Yeah, so my true, honest opinion is, firstly, if you have your health, okay, you have friends, family, loved ones, and a roof over your head, you're wealthy, okay?
Yeah.
But when we talk about true wealth and high levels of wealth, for me, you're only extremely wealthy when you own 100% of your time freedom, location freedom. And that can only happen when your assets, generate enough passive income to provide and take away your current employment income. Because then you have full 100%.
You've been paid, but you've got the time available to.
Exactly, yeah. And again, I'm not there yet. There's a few of my clients that are there yet, but they're in retirement age. So it's not quite common to be there in your 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. All of my clients will get there, whether it be in their 40s, 50s or 60s. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. And if you were to put a figure on, like, don't worry about like upsetting people here, right? Yeah. Like, if you were to put your figure on, how much money and how much passive income do you need to be actually creating to have that, to live the lifestyle that you would want to live?
Yep.
And that I think most lads or women in business would truly want to live. What sort of figure are we talking?
So you can live a reasonable lifestyle, I would say, on £10,000 monthly. Mm-hmm. Especially if you have no mortgages or you have no rent to pay. So if those assets are paid off, right?
Yeah.
That's a comfortable lifestyle.
Yeah.
You can travel on that, but obviously it's all specific to different people's wants and needs. Everybody would like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month, and 10,000 to some people it'd be nothing. But to others, if you've got £10,000 a month passive income, okay, maybe you've got other businesses that are also bringing in additional income. But if we're just talking from your investment portfolio, from your property portfolio, from your stocks and shares portfolio, £10,000 a month for me would be sufficient anyway.
Yeah, that's a good number. Because, I always thought when like when you hit the 10,000 mark, you're like, life's going to change. And it does, because you're free, like, then I can go, I'm here, and I wouldn't have been if I weren't. But
it's comfortable.
It's comfortable. It's nowhere near where you want to be. But then if that's passive and you take, right, I've got no rent.
Yeah.
I've got no business expenses coming out of that. Like, it's actually a lot of free money, right?
So I'll also tell you why I've gone with the 10K there, because 10K, you need roughly 2.4 million to give you 10K passive income.
Okay.
So when you think about the wealth numbers, and what goals you need to reach, you need to get up to about 120,000 a year. You need about 2.4 million to generate 10,000. So obviously, different people's goals. 5 million goal, 10 million goal. That's going to generate more passive income. So you've also got to be realistic with clientele and say, how far can you actually get? So £10,000, 15, 20, 25, and then that gives us a bigger wealth number, and we reverse engineer to get to that goal within that set period of time.
With how my mind works, I'm a big fan of like reverse engineering stuff. Like, obviously being in coaching and you're getting results, it's like, right, where do we want to get? What do we need to go through from the back to front? So effectively there is a figure in assets that we would need if we wanted to get
Exactly.
this amount monthly, and then we can go, right, if we're going to get this amount monthly, this is how we're going to do it.
Exactly, and that's all dependent on, well, you can work out how much you need to invest every single month, and every month for the next 10, 15, 20, even 25 years, and then we can figure it out at 5% growth rate, 10% growth rate, 15% growth rate, and obviously the higher the growth, the less of the figure of the input, the shorter time frame, the bigger the input. But the bigger the input, the bigger the output. So
Yeah,
the
for
more
sure.
you put in, obviously the more you're going to get back in the long run once you've had the wealth compounding and left to compound for as long as possible. So all of my investment strategies are a buy and hold strategy. We're not flipping, we're not
Yeah.
trading. Trading and flipping incurs more costs to the client, and also depending on your residency can trigger more taxes, which reduces your wealth. So we want to try and be as tax efficient as possible, and that's where holding onto assets long term is delaying the taxation. So instead of paying capital gains tax, which is a higher tax figure, you'd pay income tax later in life, and if you're not living in the UK later in life, then you're not paying income tax at that point. So there's ways around making things as tax efficient as possible.
So it's a bit like Grant Cardone in terms of from a get assets.
Exactly, yeah. Assets. Look, you can earn as much income as you like, and even high income earners, you can live an extremely good lifestyle for today. But income is temporary. Okay, income can finish tomorrow. If you're a businessman, okay, maybe you're in an accident, maybe you have ill health. Business might change. Or as good as things are going today,
Yeah,
you
for
can't
sure.
guarantee that's going to be there forever. So it's about using your income to buy assets that can take care of you later in life. Because if you've got £500,000 a year coming in and £500,000 a year going out, you're never building wealth. You're
Yeah.
what I class as income rich, but you're not wealthy.
Yeah.
Because to be wealthy, you need assets.
Yeah, and I'd say I've been in that trap a little bit so far, 100%. So I am looking to make that transition into assets, but I think there is a balance of early days. Obviously, being 23, it's like I need to invest in myself
100%.
to get cash flow rich,
Yeah.
like income rich, and then when you get more income, you then put it into the assets, right?
Exactly.
Because obviously, if you're earning £2,000 a month and you think, right, I'm going to put away £100 a month into assets, versus if you go, you know what, I'm going to invest every little bit back I have into myself, into your fitness, into your health, into your performance,
Yep.
into your business,
Yep.
and you can turn that 2K into becoming the guy that can earn 50K a month.
Yeah.
You can then very easily work with someone like you and build true wealth, right?
No, 100%. I mean, if you're a low income earner, of course, if you can reinvest into yourself to gain a higher skill set, business mentor, increase your income, you've got more money to invest. But I was 23. I made my first investment at 23.
Class.
And at 23, I was on a salary, okay, at Lloyds Bank. I bet I were clearing 35, 40K per annum, on salary.
Yeah.
And my first investment was a property in the UK, a very small property, 80K. I put £10,000 a deposit. Okay,
Nice.
Today that property is worth, 120. Okay, and the mortgage remaining is worth 20. So from 10K there, the amount of profit that I've made over what, a 15-year time frame. But that was just my very, very first one that it kind of got me into investing, and the first one I did was actually property. So there's something for everyone. I mean, I wouldn't let your income hold you back, because if you can save up enough money to get on the property market or to invest into stocks, you can still invest, but within moderation. But I would still completely agree with yourself there. Low income earners, reinvest into yourself, build more surplus income, you've got more capacity to invest, and then you're going to then be able to create a bigger wealth pot, fill up the tank better for later in life.
So would you say at every point then you should invest to assets, but as a percentage of your income rather than like an amount, right?
So you could put a percentage into self-development,
Yeah.
okay, and a percentage into personal investment, which is going to be for your personal future,
'Cause
rather
I'd
than
say a
investing
lot.
everything back into business.
Yeah, because I'd say a lot go one way or the other. I went the all self way, all business way. Now I'm looking to merge into this side. But then obviously I hear a lot of the time it'll be, there's no money to spend on myself because I'm trying to
It's all
put
business.
300 all into it may be 300 into a mortgage into assets. But if then they're never becoming anything better to take their income up, it's a bit of a sticky trap,
it's old
right?
school mindset, isn't it? You know, just
Saving.
working, employed, saving, get a house, get a car, get a cat, get a dog, get a family. You know, it's old school mindset, and I guess, you know, this entrepreneurial mindset these days is do everything that you can within business and push your business to the highest profits possible. And look, there's more than one way to skin a cat. For me, it's always about balance and diversification. So if you're just pumping everything into your business, you're pinning all your hopes on one thing. So you need to have a bit of diversification, and I think for everyone there's room to do a little bit of both.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I think you bang on. I think it's just a percentage. I don't think you should go all one way, all the other way. I think you can just probably get away with manipulating the percentages the higher and more successful you become with cash flow, right?
Sure. And also, I mean, only time will tell, but you've got to look at the ROI on, if you're putting money back into the business, what ROI is that giving you, even whether it's putting your money into a mentor or putting your money back into content and marketing. Is that actually working? Is it giving you an ROI that is actually giving you more profit? Because if it isn't, stop it. And then you look at the other options of investing into stocks and shares, or fixed income bonds, or property. And again, over time, you'll see what ROI, return on your investment, does that give you. But it's more of a, I would say, a bulletproofed approach, because, you know, everything that we do, it's all traditional assets, investments that have worked for years and years, for decades and decades, and we don't ever see that changing. So it's like a kind of a sure thing that if we buy a property with a deposit and we rent it out, the property is going to be worth maybe hopefully double over 20 years, okay, and the rent should double over 20 years, and the debt will have been paid off, all from that initial 25% deposit, which was what I'd done initially with that first property purchase at 23, and I still own that property today. And like, I put 10k in, and now I've got 90k of equity, all from 10k. Like, the tenants paid it off for me over the 15 years. I lived in it for a couple of years, actually, before I moved into Dubai, well, Abu Dhabi. And a cool thing, or what I always think back to here as well, at the time I could have mortgaged up to like 250, okay, but I still bought a house which was a small house at 80k, right? Because it allowed me, I didn't want the mortgage on my neck, right, on weight on my shoulders. It allowed me to have more surplus income instead of having a big mortgage and living in just a big house. And it allowed me to have more surplus income. I bought another property 6 months later, and then again a few years later another one. So not having that, not going right into the biggest house and the biggest mortgage, allowed me to have more surplus income that I could go on and carry on investing, sacrifice, to get to where I am later on down the line and have more wealth because of that.
So would you say, on the back of that, if you had one property at 160k and you had 2 at 80, would you get more back out of the 2 at 80?
Depends. If you're living in the one, okay, it's your home main residence, then that's kind of a liability. Whereas I had one that I lived in, and then I straight away had another one that was an investment where the tenant was paying off the debt.
I'm with you. So what you don't want to do is go and spunk all your money onto one that you're living in. Because that's just one big liability where you don't have the surplus. You're better off living in something which is less of a liability, and then you've got spare to bring you income.
If you've got a salaried job or business, and you know what, you go and get a flashy car and that's 25-30% of your income, then you go and get a mortgage and that's another 25-30% of your income, then your lifestyle costs another 25-30%. Where's the money to actually invest for your future? So you're living for now, you've got the nice house, you've got the nice car, but you're not investing for your future. And it's just about having a balance. I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do, but it's just about having a balance of saying, maybe if I cut back here, I've got more money in my back pocket that I can invest, that my future self is going to thank me for.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think you touched on something good earlier as well about, if you're investing in your business, make sure it's giving you a return on investment, because it's very easy to get trigger happy with your business and go, I'm investing in my business. And then you're like, oh, but is that actually bringing you back? And like, look, if you're investing in your business, from my opinion, and every time you invest, it's almost got like a multiplier on it, just keep multiplying it, keep pushing it. But then if something you're investing in is just not working, reassess, because then you might be getting more out of early on, just straight into more assets.
It's trial and error with everything, isn't it? But just tread carefully, trial and error. You know, there's no guarantees in life. Some people will give you a guarantee in terms of mentorships and stuff like that, but trial and error, you don't know until you actually give it a try. But if something's not worked for a consecutive period of time, is it going to change? Yeah. Especially when it's reinvesting back into your business.
And obviously from an education standpoint around the whole finance sector, you're very clued up.
Yep.
Where did all this education come from? Where did the journey kind of begin?
So, funny enough, my college days, I want to be a PE teacher. So I've always been into health and fitness myself, right, and active. That kind of didn't go to plan. Worked in sales for many years. Started working in finance and banking early 20s. Worked at Lloyd's Bank for a good number of years. I think it was 4 or 5 years. At 26, went into wealth management, moved to Abu Dhabi, left a salaried job, took a self-employed role. And it was actually only when I was 26 I studied again later in life. So I did international studies through Chartered Institute for Securities and Investment, and I did my RDR diploma through London Banking Institute and Finance. I've got UAE regulated qualifications, international qualifications, and I'm FCA regulated and qualified to provide financial advice in the UK. But I'll tell you the biggest kind of learning experience was actually on the job. Put your head in a book, you can only absorb so much information. That got me through the exams, right? I actually studied to pass, but actually I learnt a lot more just through life experience and actually working day in, day out in financial services.
I tell everyone the same thing. It's like you can't learn to drive a parked car. Like honestly.
Free reading the book, manual assessment or whatever it's called.
I get coaches obviously message me regarding, delivering high-end lifestyle results or whatever, and I'm like, look, you can go do courses. You've got to obviously, from a legal standpoint, do a PT qualification at the start. But that's like passing your driving test, and then being like a high-end physique or performance coach is like being an F1 driver. You've got to go and invest in yourself. You've got to put the hours in. You've got to put the reps in. You've got to invest back into your own study time. It's not just going to happen by, just doing a simple course at the start. On the job's always...
The qualifications add credibility, right? But you actually learn the job in terms of investing from your own experience. And obviously, I mean, when I say this, thousands of customers and hundreds of clients, right? Because obviously when I was at the bank, there were customers coming out, but I have helped thousands of customers and hundreds of clients get into a stronger financial position by implementing the advice that I provided. And like, look, I'm an investor myself. Everything that I say to my clients is I practice what I preach. So I've made mistakes investing. I've been the guy that's traded a little bit here and there, and that's not worked out. I've lost money in investments, and from my experience, I can give my clients the advice so that they don't need to make those mistakes. And that's why, at the end of the day, you've got financial advisors that are 50s and 60s. They're experienced guys. Maybe they're not quite as relatable to the younger clientele that I'm dealing with now, and that's where I kind of saw a bit of a gap in the market to bring the wealth coaching service rather than financial advisor, and it's just a more modern day approach to financial advice.
So your clientele's quite diverse. You've got the old school guys, and then you've got a lot of the fitness guys, don't you? Right?
Yeah, sure.
Because obviously it is quite a cash flow rich, or can be,
if
it's done well. So you saw that gap, and then you thought, I'm going to kind of jump on that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was all to do with me moving online, right? So living in Dubai, UAE, Abu Dhabi, driving up and down Sheikh Zayed Road, suit and a tie on from one meeting to the next. Pandemic hit, and you could almost class it as being a PT on a gym floor and moving online.
Yeah.
So what does that do? It frees up your time. Yeah. I'm way more efficient now, where I can sit on a meeting in a t-shirt rather than in a suit and a tie, sweating from meeting to meeting. Way more efficient with my time. Again, a lot of my clients, the older clientele, the clients that I've had for like 10 years now, these guys are all nearly either reaching retirement age or in retirement age. And for these clients, it's more about actually drawing an income out, passive income and looking after what's there. But then for the younger clientele, and this all come about for the fact that I moved my business online, actually hired an online coach, started doing business with a couple of online coaches, and we're like, do you know what, I'm really enjoying these meetings. I'm really enjoying starting with the guys at the start of their wealth journey, almost a blank canvas, I can see myself in a lot of the young clients, you know, going back when I was 23 and 24 and 25, very ambitious, you know, just wanting to do good in life. And I'm like, I can help these guys. I'm really enjoying the meetings. Actually said to Ben Bray at the time, I want to be the go-to guy to give financial advice to the online coaches. And that's when I decided, you know what, I'll put an Instagram profile there. Before that, it was just normal profile, right? So again, all my clients were in the 50s and 60s. I would have never imagined actually taking clients via social media. I didn't need to market myself in that way, but I was like, I need a bit of a landing page for people to find me, and that's where the wealth coaching kind of brand and service came.
No, I like it. I like the brand. It's very it is very modern, but very minimalistic, slick.
Yeah,
I like it.
Look, I want to be relatable to coaches. Yeah, so it was okay. You're online coaches. I'll be the wealth coach. And everyone's got their own little quirky.
Just even calling it the wealth coach is just a lot more appealing, like you said.
Exactly.
I know, for example, if I was messaged by a financial advisor, I'd just be like, a financial advisor, a wealth coach. And especially you've got the knowledge, you've got the youth, you're doing this whilst you're still young, you know, you've got the look, like it all just kind of goes with it.
Look, again, it's just more about being relatable. All of my clients, young or old, they all end up becoming friends eventually, you know. But again, I'm probably not your most typical looking finance advisor covered in tattoos. You know, I go for the odd beer and night out with some of the clients. But on the flip side, I'm just really into my health and fitness as well. So it all goes hand in hand. I think this was just kind of perfectly made for me to be a financial advisor and, you know, get into this space and be able to help so many other online coaches, because they do need help. Do you know what I mean? They're successful, but a lot of people just have this, they don't know what to do with their money. I've been there. It's like, okay, so I'll just leave it to build up in my bank account, or I'll go and buy a car because, you know, I just want to do something with it. Yeah. It's like, basically, you're working hard, you've got a really good work ethic, so let's put your money into an environment where that's got a really good work ethic and make your money busy. But people have a bit of a fear or a bit of a pessimistic mindset on investing. They almost invest in fear that they're going to lose money, when it's actually quite the opposite.
The opposite, for sure.
Yeah, you're investing, the odds are stacked in your favour. Stock markets, they go up more years than not. You're generally looking at about once every 7 to 8 years there's a decline, a kind of a crash, which would say more than 20%. Corrections happen every year, 10% or more, but 100% of the time they bounce back. But you'll take the odds of 6 or 7 good years and 1 bad year if you're looking at stocks and shares, right? So people need to, again, stop worrying about keeping the balances in the bank and just have it invested. Leave it there, hold on to it long term, and just let it grow.
Because in your bank anyway, from my knowledge, it's just with inflation, you're technically losing money, aren't you?
100%. So your balance will always be its balance, and people see their balances increasing, but that's your input.
But its worth is
less. It's worth less year on year because of high inflation. What I would like to see, imagine if you actually saw the true value of your cash after inflation, so you would see the value going down. That would give you a kick up the bum to do something with it.
You just had another grand land in the bank, but you
exactly, because of inflation. Inflation, the cost of buying goods and services the following year is more expensive. So imagine if your balance actually depreciated and you saw that, you go, I'm not keeping my money there. Putting the money in the bank is a guaranteed way of losing money, but you still need a certain amount of money in the bank. You actually need an emergency fund in the bank. Everything over and above that should be invested.
And what would you say an emergency fund? What's your definition of
very
that?
Simple: 6 months expenses, 3 months salary. That's if we're looking at personal.
Personal.
So again, for your business, you know your business. What float do you need in that business? And again, you can be overly cautious, but whatever the value is, maybe it's 10k, maybe it's 20k, maybe it's 30k. Depends on your overheads to the business, depends on your overheads to your personal life. But total up, 6 months expenses or 3 months income, and then draw a line in the sand, and everything over and above that can be invested. And when we talk about investing, we talk about money for now, money for today, that's your income, money for soon, okay, that's your emergency pot, and then money for later. So if you look at your balance and you go, 70% of that balance I'm never going to spend, that's your money for later. And that needs to be busy. That money needs to go into property, stocks, shares, fixed income. People like a dabble with crypto. I'd say that's the icing on the cake. You need to have the full cake mixture inside of there.
Yeah.
Just to cover yourself for security.
Cool. And obviously from a coach standpoint, there are a lot of young coaches kind of coming out making money. And I know everyone's got a bit of a different strategy. Some people just simply want to coach solo and they just want to have their own personal business. And that is obviously very good from an income and profit standpoint. But like it is, when you stop, that's gone.
Yep.
If you don't have a business of a team and a brand that you've kind of got churning for you, that investment's massive, right? Like you more than ever need to be invested. For these young guys, what would you say the blueprint is to start with? Like, at what point would you be saying to an online coach, right, you need to come in and this is a strategy we would take from A to Z. If we said we're going to get you from where you are right now, you might be doing 10K a month and income from your online coaching, and you want to get to the point years down the line where you've got 10K passive. Is there a bit of a blueprint to that?
So, sure, let me wrap my mind on this one. So firstly, mindset. Okay, you've got the right mindset, which does mean there's going to be some sacrifices along the way.
For sure.
You've got to make wealth building your life mission. Okay, and again, when we flip this over back to online coaching, and you say to a client you want to drop 10 kgs, there's the do's and the don'ts. So same kind of stuff. It all goes hand in hand. So mindset. Okay, we need source of income. Okay, so if you're employed or you've got business profit, you've got a source. Then you need surplus income, because if you're spending all your income, there's no capability to invest. So you've got surplus income. Then we've got emergency fund. Okay, make sure you've got an emergency fund so you don't have to touch your investments should an emergency arise. You've got that emergency fund. Okay, after the emergency fund is cleared, we can invest everything over and above. We need strategy. Okay, and strategy, maybe it's monthly investing into stocks and shares, maybe it's building up a deposit to buy a property, and then another deposit to buy another property, buy to let, structure, limited companies, get your tenant paying off the debt. So that's your strategy. Whichever one you want to go with, as I say, there's other different asset classes you can, I'm not going to say it, but Forex, cryptos, you can do commodities. I stay clear of them, okay? But for me, stocks and shares, properties, where I've accumulated my wealth. So we've got strategy. Then we need to give it time and be consistent. Every month you're investing, or every year we're buying another property. And over time, over decades and decades of holding this wealth, it's going to accumulate and collate. Eventually you've got success. Okay, so you've had source, strategy, success, and a few bits in between, but that's the blueprint.
I like it. So it is just like a roadmap from a physique standpoint. It's the same. You've got to make some sacrifice. You've got do's and don'ts, and then you just commit to it. Really.
Exactly, commit to it.
And I know you also mentioned income, and then you said surplus income. Right. Would you say to people, from where you are right now, to get that surplus income, pull back on your expenses, or if you're in a position, say, right, you know where you are right now, that's cool, but now hold yourself and commit to growing the income, and then using everything beyond where you are now in the future, you're going to stay exactly where you are, and that's what you're going to use as surplus income to invest? Or would you say straight away dial back and spend?
You'd have to do an audit on the company, or a financial consultation, financial review on the individual. So I can't give you a clear answer on that. But you need a surplus income. There's two ways to increase a surplus income: increase your revenue, increase your income, or reduce your expenditure. But you'd need to look at it in finer detail, as look at a business or look at an individual in finer
almost
detail.
Fine tune both a little bit.
Or do a little bit of both. Exactly.
I've always been a big fan of thinking, just go more revenue, because from my standpoint, I'm like, if I've got more revenue, you're helping more people, you've got more transformations, more clients, it's only going to be a good thing. But then I can use that back into this. So I'm like, it gives value both ways. I can take value from it. We're helping more people. That's a good thing. So my goal, if I want to help more people, should always be to grow income, right? Because it's just a direct correlation. But I think we could definitely fine tune from an expenses standpoint as well.
100%. Just needs to have a financial review and a business audit, I guess.
And would you say, from a mindset standpoint, there is anything you see commonly that like really holds people back from actually accumulating that wealth? Because I guess you'll look at some people and think you've got a lot of potential. I do with physique or performance, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just from a mindset standpoint, because you touched on mindset's importance.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the one trait that really, really holds people back?
Okay, so the first thing is knowledge. Okay, not knowing where to invest or what to invest into, which leads into fear and not trusting, not having faith. Okay, so then that goes into procrastination. They'll just rather keep the money in the bank. When if you flip that on its head and you go and seek advice, okay, get with myself or any other financial advisor that can actually give you some knowledge that'll give you peace of mind. Okay, you won't procrastinate, you won't be pessimistic, okay, and you'll have a positive mindset. Because for me, I'm a huge fan of laws of attraction. Think positively, okay, and if you think about investing, the markets go up, you're invested, that's great, you're making a profit. The markets go down and you're invested, that's great, I can buy cheaper units, okay, that will make you more profit in the long run, but that's just having a positive mindset and a glass half full and half empty mindset. So it's mindset traits of knowledge and having faith and having a positive mindset is what's going to actually help you to accumulate wealth, and then just staying on course long term. Don't forget here, Tom, we're not doing a 6 or 12 week transformation.
Yeah, this is long.
It's a long term wealth transformation. It's not done in 12 months. It's not even done in even 5 years is short term investing in our industry. It's 10, 15 and 25 and beyond. And even when I get clients up to retirement age, and there might have been a client for 25 years, you're still going to invest for another 20, 30 years all the way through your retirement. But you're investing with a slightly different tweak because you're investing then to generate income. Right now, if you're young, you're investing for growth. You want to accumulate and reach a certain amount of wealth as much as possible before you get to your retirement age.
And would you say you've always had that mindset, or is that something you've consciously worked on? Because obviously, I know you work on your fitness heavily, but do you look into your mindset directly from self-development books, audiobooks, podcasts, or are you just kind of that way out, do you think?
Look, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, those books, they're class, but for me, I've always been a saver, right? So there's spenders and savers, and this is all to do with your relationship with money. So I was always a saver, even as a child. I get like a buzz out of saving money rather than spending it. And then obviously every now and again I treat myself. But over the years, I've just become more and more confident. But I was that guy that was just building money up in a bank account, until I actually
like almost like hoard and
before I got into wealth management, before I took the qualifications, before I learnt on the job. I was investing clients' money, high amounts of money, but I still had money in the bank at that point. And then I've seen how good the clients have done. I'm like, oh wow, that's a good investment, because it's all model portfolios and it's already there. And then over time, I gained trust in the market and learnt more about it. And again, property is the traditional asset. Everyone knows you buy property, you hold it for years and years and years. It's always going to be worth more in the long run. So it comes with experience, the positive mindset. And now for me, I know that now kind of everything I touch at the minute turns to gold. Years ago, I had that bit of a doom and a gloom, why me? Why have I bought that investment? It's gone down, But the market don't care about you. It's not you. It's just a matter of time. Like there's a saying, it's not timing the market, it's spending time in the market.
Yeah.
And as long as you are on course for long periods of time, you're always going to make a profit if your money's invested in the right areas.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. If you were someone that was like, I want to be wealthy when I'm 40, 50 and really have wealth that we're talking about here, right?
Yep.
But you also want to have that balance of, I still want to live a good life while I'm young, whilst I'm in the best shape ever, whatever, and you want to be able to travel, you want to do things. What would your strategy be around getting both? Is it just, we've got to get, if we've got a set percentage we're going to invest, you've simply just got to get more income?
Yeah, and I think a big thing there is having your investments automated, and you save first. So whether you get paid monthly or weekly or whatever, a percentage of your earnings gets transferred on standing order, automated, out of your current account, okay, into an investment account or into a savings account where that money can be used as a deposit. Because you save first, you spend second. People have this way of, I'll save at the end of the month, and then there's so much cash in the bank that they can go and live this lavish lifestyle, brunch every weekend, travel, buy new
Because the
clothing.
money's there.
Because the money's there. But once the money's gone, okay, it encourages you to work harder. Subconsciously, you'll work harder to replace that money. But rather than it just going onto material things, like, I mean, I like nice clothes and stuff, but rather than going onto material things, it's gone into your investment pot, which is for your future self. So that little switch there will help you to create wealth. And it's just having it gone. You'll still live a really, really good quality of life on the remainder of what's there. It won't even change your lifestyle. If anything, it'll make you work harder to earn more money because there's less money in the bank. When there's a big balance in the bank, you have this peace of mind, okay, and that can subconsciously encourage you to work not as hard.
Yeah.
But once it's gone, it's like, wow, my bank balance is down, work harder, fill it back up and invest it again, and so on and so on.
I've had that exact feeling in other ways. Like a lot of guys that know me, similar age in the same industry, are like, you invest a fucking lot into the business.
Yeah.
I'm a big investor back in, but I genuinely do not fear money going at all. But I need to use that trait with investing into assets, because I will happily just spray money at my business because like it's my baby. I want it to grow, right? So honestly, if I just drained everything today, I would just be like, it's all right, I'll go get more tomorrow.
Make it more, make it.
So I have zero fear from that aspect, and I think obviously it's an issue. It can be a bit of an issue towards building wealth if you've got that, but then it can also be a bit of an issue towards building wealth if you're like an over saver and over cautious.
Yeah.
So you want to be a bit in the middle. Don't fear money, but invest it.
And
balance.
There's different chapters of life. So I'm not saying I didn't live in my 20s, but I was probably a little bit OTT. My mates and that joke, can you tie it or whatever. Like, I'm honestly, I was managing staff at a previous company, and like all of my staff that I managed, they all had the watches and stuff and nicer cars than I had. And now we're like, you go and do your own thing. I'm doing you can live your wealthy life. I'll live my wealthy life. So probably a little bit OTT. I just wanted security. I wanted peace of mind. So I was less stressed, because obviously corporate job, working in financial services, it is stressful. But once you've got the wealth behind you, again, it's like, well, now I'm not desperate for a client. So it's like,
you've got that sat there.
Exactly, And
but at the same time, it's not in your current and you can't spend it. So it's like you've got the hunger to go get more because it's not in your current account to spend, but then you've also got the security, which is like the best of both.
Yeah, I'm 38 now. I'm still as hungry to grow my business as I were when I was 25. I don't think if you have that mindset, you'll set a goal, you'll hit the goal, and you want another goal, and another goal, and another goal. Like, I have people that tell me they're 25, I want to retire at 35, 40. I'm like, you won't. You think that now because that's just a dream, but once you get to that age, you'll have another goal, and you'll want to just keep growing your business. But behind the scenes, your wealth's also growing, so that then you have the option to live on your own terms. You're not forced to be sat behind the desk all day long.
Yeah. I think the goal is to just change your role. I think the goal is to always work.
Yep.
I know for me, I want to obviously build Elect One coaching massive. So there's a big team, but I'll still want to be in that business, part of it, and just productive towards the growth of it and helping more.
Yep.
But then more things will come along. But you almost want to be like on the top of the pyramid, giving growth strategy, being a leader, rather than like stuck in
the business.
But I don't have a vision to not work. I don't think I could. I know honestly, if I have a Saturday and I program downtime for like 6 hours in the afternoon, right? Unless I'm like out at a beach club with someone, if I was to just go and sit over there, after like 10 minutes, I'm like, right, I need to check my work WhatsApp. I'm agitated. I can't do it. I don't think I ever will be able
to switch off at times. But do you know what? I think I'll always be involved in business some way, shape or form, even into my late 50s, 60s. CEO of Holman Assets, which is a network that I'm under. Our CEO is 74. He doesn't need to work. He's still on the meetings constantly. I love him, like he's a good guy. But he still turns up. He still turns up every day.
I think when you're passionate about what you do, it's like it is life. It's not a job. I've worked jobs. And then I've also worked. But it doesn't really feel like work when you don't even have to be working for yourself, I don't think. You've just got to be in something where
enjoy something, aren't you?
You're passionate about it, and if it feels like a job, I feel like you're going to want to escape it. It's the difference between why I'm happy to work Saturday and Sunday all the way through,
Yeah.
and some people are trying to run to get on the piss Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, if you feel like you're in something you need to escape, you are going to want to retire sooner.
If it's your baby and you enjoy doing it, like you say, it doesn't feel like a job. Like my meetings with the coaches, I sit and have a chat with them. They're my mates. It's like we're having a laugh. I'm like, this isn't work.
Yeah.
And then you feel blessed. But yeah, if you're enjoying what you're doing, you know, you continue working on your own terms at that point. Then
I'm like that. I've had people around here, and I'll be sat there on my phone laughing at my phone. And I'm like, what are you laughing at? I'm just there WhatsApping all my clients, and they're just sending random shit. Because we get on from obviously a professional standpoint, but I know every client personally. Like, I know everything about everyone.
Yep.
So you can just have a laugh, and it doesn't feel like work at all.
The best thing.
You know, there's nothing better. Right. So final question.
Yep.
What is your big reason why? Why do you do what you do? Why do you want to build wealth? What's your reasoning behind it?
So initially in my 20s, it was all to do with kind of breaking the working class chain. Okay, break the chain from my lifestyle when I was a kid and growing up and so on and so on. And I just always had this goal of creating wealth so that I could be stress free, okay, and then retire at a reasonably young age, okay, so that my assets paid me an income and I wouldn't have to work forever. Then I had kids. Okay, now that was just an absolute game changer. And now everything I do is generational legacy wealth. I want my girls to be able to have, you know, a lifestyle where they're not worrying about income, so they can study for as long as they want without having to have the, you know, hours doing the job as well as studying. I want them to be able to have their first house without a mortgage on their shoulders, so they can live a good quality of life. So for me right now, everything that I'm doing is for my girls. In terms of clients, obviously everyone's got their own why, but the way that it's working now with the younger clientele is, like, I feel that I can see myself back in their time of life. Okay, and if they follow my footsteps, the things that I've done to generate wealth, like if I can do it, they can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just a normal guy, right?
You know what it's brought for you, and now you're going to get fulfillment from allowing others to do that.
Exactly.
It's the same with me.
Exactly. And then I don't know if there was a question there about it being a necessity. Or
Yeah, for sure. That's actually just the finisher. So, like, why do you think that wealth is a necessity?
So this is the thing. I wouldn't go out there fully and say it's a necessity, but it's certainly gonna give you a better quality of life, more options to work on your own terms, and security, less stress in life if you have the wealth. Hopefully, if you're using it in the right way. And for me, I think it's also being able to give back and take care of your circle, take care of the loved ones around you. Yeah, that's a big thing, because giving gives you a nice, it's selfish, but it gives you a nice feeling to know that you've helped someone that you care about. Okay, whether that be health, medical bills, or I mean, I had cleared my mum and dad's mortgage by the time I was 28. I couldn't buy a new watch until knowing that they had a mortgage. So that was a big goal for me, helping them with their mortgage. Just little things like that. So it's not necessarily a necessity, but if you want to live a fulfilled life, you need your health.
Yeah.
And wealth kind of helps as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. And do you know what? Like, I think, in my opinion, I think it is like a genuine necessity. Like, I think, like, I've studied a lot on high performance, obviously, in the industry. Necessity is one of the big things that comes in. And, like, I know we might not always want to say, oh, it's necessity, you've got to be rich. I'm not saying you have to be and you have to do what I want to do or what you do. But for high performance, you need an element of necessity, right? So if you do want to build the financial wealth, I would say you've got to have a big reason why, and that's going to come from necessity. And then studying high performers as well, usually they've all got one or a small circle of people they do it all for.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could be for your mum, it could be for your mum and your sister, it could be for your mum and your dad. It, like, if you look at some of the biggest names, just throwing a random one, you've got like Iman, right? It's for his mum. Everything's for his mum, right? Or it could be someone else and it's for their daughter, right? Yeah. Everyone is more productive towards the huge goals with finance when it's for someone else.
Yeah.
People will go after the 10K month for themselves. But as soon, like, you're then satisfied, but that doesn't mean you're settled. And I think once you go past settled and once you go past not being settled, you want to just get the big thing, but that's for someone else, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure. I think it does weigh a lot more on you as an individual if it's for the benefit of others, not just for yourself.
So if there was no family, no partner, do you think you would be on the same mission at the same extreme if you didn't have
those goals for the girls? No, not necessarily. I mean, to be honest with you, I'd probably be less productive because, again, the lifestyle would be a little bit different. I'd be out partying more, right?
Yeah.
And then again, that then leads into feeling, not fresh on a Monday, not productive. So the healthy lifestyle is a big game changer in being successful at business and being successful at wealth. Health, wealth, business, you put a tick in all those boxes and your life's just taking off like a rocket.
And just touching on that with your health, how conscious are you with your health, and how big a difference would you say that is having on your performance within work? Obviously, I work with clients on performance and obviously nutrition, the training. It's going to make them operate at a higher level, more cognitive function, focus, productivity, energy. Because if you want to influence people, you have to have energy, right?
Sure.
And you obviously talk about law of attraction, energy. How are you going to create energy? You've got to sleep better, you've got to have better nutrition, you've got to train, you've got to be in better shape, better health. How conscious of all that are you?
Look, I'm a huge advocate of online coaching. I've had an online coach myself. Working out is part of my daily routine. I love it. Hit the gym 4 or 5 times a week, play football, go to the boxing gym a couple of times a week. At the moment, I've been plagued by injuries. Now, that's killed me off, honestly. Not being able to get to the gym, doctor telling me that I got to take 4 months rest. I haven't. For prolonging my injury. But, I just think that healthy lifestyle and, like you say, hitting the gym, getting a better quality of sleep, burning that energy, having that fresh mindset, and actually being able to just be so productive in business and life, health, business and wealth, they all kind of go hand in hand, honestly. If you're doing well doing well in business, or you're doing well with your health, okay, then it's gonna cross over into your business. Then that's gonna cross over into your,
because with all of them, I would say that they all require habits of discipline, mindset. It
exactly
all
the
correlates.
same. And this is why a lot of my meetings with online coaches, they just get it. We're preaching the same thing, okay? Because if you are on a health mission, like a healthy lifestyle, you're going out less partying, so you're spending less money. Okay, you're eating out less on takeaways and fine dining, so you're spending less money. Okay, that's going to be better for you in terms of your health, but it's also going to be better for you in terms of your wealth. So again, I'm a huge advocate of online coaching.
And I think even if coaches don't have everything you're suggesting implemented right now, the concept of implementing the discipline to something else is so easy to do when you've already got the mindset. So if someone gave, someone who had their health in perfect order because they were disciplined with it, and they gave them a new thing to work on, it's very easy to get a new task and implement it and just commit to it from the start.
Exactly.
Do things when you don't want to do them, because you know that it's all about long-term results.
That characteristic of the gym, of sacrifice, of working hard, transfers into business, transfers into wealth.
100%. Mate, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on
mate.
today.
Absolute pleasure.
And if anybody wants to work with you, how would they go about getting in touch? Because obviously online coaches head to Ryan, but then obviously there's anyone who's interested in building and accumulating wealth is going to be perfect.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so best to just get me on my socials. So it's Ryan_wealth coach. Company website holbornassets.com. But yeah, drop me a DM on social media.
Perfect. I will also put the link in the bio as well. Sweet.